Are you giving them my peas? No, 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 no.
You like them?
I like them.
Yeah.
No, give them some pieces of chard.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Chard is their garden snack.
No strawberry dish with full tea.
Only if they've holes. The really good ones need to be for me. Welcome to Scofield Farm. I am going to give you a July tour of my veggie garden and hopefully keep this shorter than our tour in June. So let's get started while there's a little bit of shade in the garden. Let's start in the sunniest bed right now, and hopefully the sun won't follow us. I'm going to show you what I often call bed one. This bed, if you remember, had peas and it had garlic, and now it is abundant with sweet potatoes. Look at that. They are just going everywhere. The peas need to be taken out. They are pretty much done. Although this little one's finding a few on there, aren't ya? So I planted twice sweet potato slips, and I actually have a few more inside. I think I will put in little spots in this bed. We also have lemon cucumber that we direct sowed, climbing up this cattle panel on the west side of this garden bed. We have some volunteer herbs here and there like dill, a big beautiful volunteer sunflower, another one. And this bed is doing fairly well. And here are a bunch of my smaller sunflowers along the north fence. I just think all the sunflowers are so lovely. I had tried to plant in here some radishes that actually ended up bolting, and so I'm letting those little pretty flowers stay there. I'll probably harvest some seeds from these later on, but pollinators love blooming plants that bolt, so don't be afraid to leave them in your garden. Next, we're gonna look at this bed. This bed, we had two extra tomatoes that I put in pots over here. They did not do as great as I'd like. It got really hot and they suffered from the heat. This one actually is doing better than the other one. Oh, somebody found strawberries. We have pickling cucumber right here on the end, which has given us quite a bit of cucumbers and is still pumping them out. Lots of pretty flowers intermingled. This one is a cosmos. And then we have a whole bed of tomatoes. Some of them are doing better than others. I almost feel like I need to feed these tomatoes again. The sage is quite abundant, as are the other herbs. We've got calendula, basil, chives, more basil. Now, the tomato doing best in this bed is the Cherokee Purple. I have got quite a few of these beautiful ripe Cherokee Purple tomatoes, and for whatever reason, it is doing the best of the tomatoes in this specific bed. Here's a cucumber that's just about ready. I am loving the little sunflowers along my fence line now. They didn't get all as big as I would have hoped, but they are so happy as I walk around the garden. Now I wanted to show you over here. On the other side of this tomato, mainly tomato bed, we have celery. And the celery is actually doing phenomenal for this time of year. I'm so surprised and happy about how it's doing. Let me actually get down here and show you below. The stalks look pretty good. I think we're pretty close to being able to harvest. That will actually give my tomatoes a little more room. This is the north side of my tomatoes, so it does get a fair amount of shade during the daytime. And of course, we have chard overflowing the corner of the bed. Oh no, what did you find?
A watermelon fruit open that.
Yeah, it looks like something had a feast in our garden.
Should we go out to the chickens?
We absolutely should give it to the chickens.
Okay.
All right, go find the other part of it too.
It's a cucumber.
I know, we'll get that in a minute. Or you can get a snippers and harvest all the cucumbers that look quite ready. Next we have our strawberry bed. It looks a little, wow. This is what 114 degrees does to you and your strawberries. But there are still blossoms, there are still berries growing. You know, I probably should water this little patch twice a day, but it stays alive and it still produces some. It just will produce more when it cools off. And I wouldn't say that those are so bad, would you? Pretty good. All right, gotta take a second and eat strawberry. You missed a couple.
What? How is that possible? I looked through the whole entire thing.
They're really good. Okay, next I want to share with you a tomato that I actually planted from a sucker of another tomato in a place where I had a suffering one. This little one didn't look like it was going to make it, but look, it has so much new growth. It's doing really, really well. I wish I remembered what it was. I ended up mulching it with this alfalfa that I got for the potato bed if you watched my last garden video. And I think it helps with the heat because it has been very hot for some of these young tomatoes. Next is my Rose de Jamaica Jamaican Roselle hibiscus. And it is big and bushy. Would you believe that is just one plant? We have a few leeks. Leeks are perennial, and this one is putting out some new leeks for fall and winter harvests. Then I have basically my cherry tomato bed. Oh, we've got a blooming leek right there too. Now, this is a new to me variety. I have not decided how fond I am of it. It is blue, I think it's called blue cream berry. And I'm not sure if I'm harvesting the right time. So it's not quite as sweet as its neighbor over here, Sun Gold, which actually is my favorite of the cherry tomatoes. So I don't know if it's really fair to eat those two in a row, but it's not too bad. More sunflowers. We have volunteer sunflowers in almost every bed this year, which I thought was interesting, how the birds distributed their seeds so evenly. All right, now we've got quite a few pretty cherries of all different kinds. I love to have a bowl of rainbow colored cherry tomatoes. It's like one of the best things to have on the counter. Don't you agree? Now over there, that's actually my super sweet 100, and parts of it are not doing so hot. I've been trying to get off the yellowing leaves, but these are not actually turning red. You can also see in this bed more of the leeks are actually spawning their little new babies. These are the ones that I forgot to harvest, and they're just basically reproducing themselves, which is kind of nice. Less planting for me come fall. Here is an onion that I let go to seed, and this one is about ready to harvest the seeds. The other one I'm waiting to dry out a little better since they're on the same stalk. Oh my, this is a chives I've had in this pot forever that I forgot to water. So I wonder if that will come back. Do you think it'll come back? You should water it and find out for me. And then here's a chives that's getting plenty of water. And the rest of my cherry tomatoes, we have several basils in this bed. We have, let's see, Emily basil. We have Thai basil. And I believe we have, oh, in my path I have California poppies that are closing up for the evening. Beautiful zinnias.
Mommy, look how big this strawberry is.
Oh, I will look. More Thai basil, and here is holy basil, or sometimes called Tulsi basil. Isn't that one pretty? Now, you guys watched me plant some replacement tomatoes. This is one that was from my cousin, and it is doing really well. That was maybe orange accordion. So eventually it will grow up to meet the cattle panel. Wow, that is a really big strawberry. 5-second rule. 5-second rule.
I can wash it.
Cucumbers, good job. Should we make pickles or should we eat those with hummus?
Pickles.
Pickles would be good, huh? My little lovely ladies, my hens, are always here waiting for me to give them, uh-oh, a garden treat. What are you doing? This is such a cute little sunflower. I'm trying to remember the name, but it has very little heads. Isn't that lovely? And it has a lot of them. And you, my friend, would like a treat. And you too. Oh yes, but it's not tree time. They're crazy. Okay, next we're going to do my hot pepper bed. I lose track of numbering once we get to this side of the garden. I only say 1 through 4 for the first row. We have eggplant at the end. They are finally starting to grow a little better. We have tomatillos in the middle, and I really do need to look underneath to see if any are ready. We have zinnia.
Mommy, do we have 3 cooks or 2 cooks?
And lots of kinds of hot peppers. So many. You can see the Thai dragon peppers starting to even change color. And I'm excited to start picking those red ones to make our first batch of hot sauce for the season. Beautiful Scotch bonnet. We're waiting for those to change. And just so many kinds of peppers. Oh, I spy one of my favorites right here that need to change colors. The Sugar Rush Peach. Now, they're edible at the yellow stage, but they are quite phenomenal when they turn that nice peach color. Are you giving them my peas? No.
I like them.
I like them.
Yeah.
No, give them some pieces of chard.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Chard is their garden snack.
No strawberry this. What's supposed to be?
Only if they've holes. The really good ones need to be for me. Now I wanted to show you. I actually came to this side of the bed because I was looking to see if I had any habanero starting, and I do. You guys, I don't know why I'm whispering, but this is my first year actually getting habaneros. Like, I have grown the plants big and beautiful for 4 years. And yet, even though I've gotten reaper fruit, I never get habanero. Well, I have got quite a few. Yes, I am so excited. Okay, well, next I'd like to show you my beautiful area of zinnia. Oh my goodness, and cosmos. That is just breathtaking, isn't it? And then I've got some Sartre-Lois tomatoes on the end that are kind of just falling out of this container thing. It just was makeshift with extra tomato plants. Let's take this one in. It's a good looking tomato right there. Now what I was wanting to show you over here with all these beautiful flowers, I was wanting to get in there and show you what we have as far as cantaloupe. I'm gonna have to go around. Oh, cute little ones, cute little ones. But I have one basically ready to pick, and I just keep testing every day. Oh, there's another little one. This one. Over here. Oh, isn't it dreamy? I mean, truly dreamy.
Mommy, is this cantaloupe yet?
I don't know if it's ready. We're gonna have to check. I don't think it is though.
But it is.
Oh, it is heavy for its size. Oh, but it's still pretty attached. Soon. This is my garden arch. It was my first one. I have 3 now. This one has grown cantaloupe and butternut squash for a couple years. I think this is the 3rd year. Isn't that lovely? These are going to be so good. I just have to step back and let us all appreciate the beauty of arches full of food and leaves.
Mama, by the door, is it a banana?
It is. You'll have to see if they're ready. All right, next in this bed, we have kale. I know it's late for kale, and my kale's telling me that too. My kale is covered with bugs. Do not look too close. Now this tomato in a pot seems to be healthier than my other tomatoes in a pot. I mean, it doesn't have like dying foliage, so that's good. I have some more peppers here. This one was unmarked for some reason. It's actually another sun gold. You can see those.
Be able to eat this.
We'll see. And then we have Brad's Atomic Grape, which has been one of my favorites to grow for like the past 5 years. I like that one. I know some people who don't like it as much as me, but it's like a favorite. Calendula is struggling this time of year. Spider mites really like my calendula, but they will bounce back in the fall. This one is no more, but this one is a brandywine that decided that these little tomato cages that I bought were too flimsy, and so it has like climbed into my other bed. Oh dear. What do you have there?
A banana pepper.
Ooh, is it ready?
Yeah.
Show us how big it is. That's a good one. Ooh, delicious. We'll get to the pepper bed in a second, the other pepper bed. Now this is my other tomato bed. This one is mostly paste tomatoes, canning tomatoes. Some of them are hybrids, some of them are determinants. I picked a big basket of them the other day, but there's still quite a few on the plants. Quite a few. Now I had a few that didn't do so great, and I had some that did pretty good. In my opinion, the ones that have done good for me are the Roma, Marino's Roma, and La Roma. Those have done the best for me. Amish Paste and San Marzano both bit the dust. These are doing not too bad. Very full. More than not too bad. They're doing good. More basil, more basil. Lots of dill. If you were out here, you would smell the dill pickle smell. And what are those, sweetheart? What are these?
These are snapdragons.
Snapdragons. Can you show us how they snap?
I don't think they're strong enough to.
Oh, snapdragons are magical.
Get off of my pretty snapdragons, and get off of them.
Snapdragons remind me of childhood. I used to love them. They are so whimsical. All right, besides the dill pickle smell that is everywhere, you know I haven't even harvested dill yet. I need to go through and harvest a lot of it. You know, we'll harvest the seeds and then we're gonna make stuff with it. We make our own ranch sauce. We make our own fermented dill pickles. Dill is a good spice. You can use it as the weed, as the flower heads, or as a seed. So if you don't harvest the weed in time, it's not too late. You can harvest the other parts. I like that about it. Okay, let's go around to the back of this bed. Oh, thank you. Put my clippers in the basket, okay? Thank you. Close the gate. All right. So the rest of this tomato bed, on the back side, we've got beautiful sunflowers. We have zinnia, both volunteered in the path and in the bed. Oh, pretty. Those are going to be pretty ones, huh? We have chamomile. Oh, that's beautiful. More and more and more tomatoes. Seriously, guys, I'm going to grow these 3 again, for sure. More sunflowers. Some of them are spent. Their seeds are getting ready for both birds and for me to bring in and harvest for my kids. We have plenty of seed for planting. And more zinnia. I just love, guys, to plant flowers all over the garden. It's like my thing. Look at this beautiful candy cane one. Oh, I just love it. Just very little specks of pink. I have these in my garden every year since my youngest was born. And then last year, for whatever reason, this is the one variety that didn't come up for me. So I'm happy to have them in it again this year. All right. Now we're gonna do the back side of the bed that has the trellised butternut squash. We have tons and tons of dill that's flowered and dry that I need to harvest so much. But what we have as the star of the show of this bed are the mild, medium, and sweet peppers. This is a little favorite of mine I started last year. It's called the Quino, and it is so nice. It's a little bit spicy, but it's got like a nice sweetness to it. Oh, look at all of these. I need to do some good harvest. Anytime I do a garden tour, I am actually so tempted to just start harvesting. I love to make diced green chilies, roasted diced green chilies with these. So I always grow a ton because we use them all year long, and then I freeze them in 4-ounce containers. Here is my echinacea that I had cut back on a video earlier. I think it was the last video I posted. If you want to check that out. Cool thing about echinacea, not only is the echinacea purple one medicinal, but it's a cut and come again flower where new flowers will come up if you cut the old ones. All right, you got to see, guys, how tall this dill is. It is almost as tall as I am. I think it could be as tall as I am. We have right here along the whole, let's see, this would be the west side of the bed. We have eggplant, and my eggplant are all a little bit behind in growth, but they're actually doing better. They're starting to grow, so we'll probably have mostly fall eggplant harvests, which I'm not going to complain about. Oh, look at the shishito peppers. I think I need to come out here and harvest some of these too. I need to do like a whole big harvest of peppers in this garden. We have calendula sprinkled through the entire garden. Oh goodness, let's get a good angle. This one is the yellow pom-pom. It is the first calendula color I've ever grown, and I love it. It will always be in my garden. And look at these bell peppers. They're just starting. The secret with bell peppers is if you want them to actually change color, you're gonna have to give them a decent amount of shade. And I usually do that with interplanting with taller plants on the west side or the south side of them so they can change and not get sun scald. More of the candy cane variety. Oh, seriously, these are so stunning. We have crazy wild looking chives and all sorts of other peppers. Wild looking cosmos. I mean, like falling over, cascading over everything else. I cut this chard way back the other day. It will come back. It's been there for about 3 years. And more beautiful zinnias. We have all sorts of flowers and herbs. I think this is a late bloomer of sunflowers. So we'll have another sunflower come up. And let's go over to this bed. This is my other trellised area. I have on this first one both spaghetti squash, which I said incorrectly a couple videos ago that I thought it was supposed to be acorn squash. I can show you where the acorn squash is. This is for sure spaghetti squash. And then I also have up here these big, beautiful, more flat, not as prickly leaves. These are loofah. And I'm trying to look and see if I have any loofah actually growing, and I don't see any right now. But I'm sure we're gonna get buds and have fruit by the time I do my next garden tour, which that will be exciting. Oh, look how high that spaghetti squash is. Way up over my head. That's fun. All right, so we have a volunteer sunflower in the path, which I don't mind because here's my sunflower forest. If you've been around here for long, you know that I had a ton of sunflower volunteers and I just let them be. I planted purposely sunflowers on the entire perimeter of the garden fence, but all of the volunteers, they earned a place in my garden. Now here we have pumpkins growing up this area. Here is, ooh, a pretty one starting. That's beautiful. Every couple days, I come out here and I kind of force these back up. I don't know if that is going to, there we go. But I just kind of help them keep going upwards and not go down. And last year, I had a gorgeous Cinderella pumpkin hanging from that smack middle of the very tip top of the arch, and I didn't even reinforce it. It just stayed there and it was just breathtaking. Oh, you guys, the garden looks so happy from this angle. Don't you agree? It makes me so happy to have this little oasis in the middle of our big, dry, hot summer property. What an oasis. I love it. Okay, we had some weird volunteer cross strange squash. It was supposed to be acorn squash. It became this bumpy, lumpy squash, and I don't see any on it right now, but they taste pretty good if you harvest them young. And the ones that are harvested old, I haven't tried, but I'm hoping they'll cook up like a butternut squash. We have parsley here, and hiding in there, we have lots of basils all through the garden. And then I actually have these tomato cages for all of my zucchini and my yellow squash. So you're gonna spy in here beans, because I planted bush beans right in the middle of my pumpkin and squash bed. They are companion plants, so I'm hoping they do well. Lots and lots of basil. And I just love, honestly, when the Thai basil flowers. It smells good, it looks good, and it actually still tastes good. More beans and lots of zinnia. Enjoying sharing this with you so much. I'm gonna walk over to my potato bed. I made a video recently of mulching with alfalfa hay and replanting potatoes and harvesting potatoes, lots of potato videos, and I want to show you it is looking so good, and that is always encouraging. I want to show you how it looks and just show you, like I show you our failures, like the tomatoes that died in the black pots. I like to show you what's actually going well too. Let's take a look. The alfalfa is keeping things a little bit more moisturized in here. I've got sunflowers, of course. I have a sunflower that actually fell over here. I thought that quite interesting. I'm feeling like something was involved in that, and I might cut it off. See how sad? Oh, death of a sunflower. we have our asparagus in these self-watering pots we were given. The reason why we put them here and not in a permanent bed is because I wasn't entirely sure where I wanted them, and we couldn't afford to build a wood bed. So someone had given us these when they moved, and I said, yes, let's do this. They will be on the line, and if we ever decide to move them, they will be nice and established. Over here, we have our watermelons, and I feel like they probably need more water. We had the one that had a critter attack it. Ooh. But we have these that are growing okay-ish. The soil's all right. I'm gonna let these vine up. I'm gonna let them vine out. And we'll see which ones actually do better. Over here, we have some purple beans. And I'd actually planted them in both pots, but only this one is doing that great. All the other little sprouts I did in here are gone. These dried up. I have so many seeds inside, I think I'm gonna replant there. Sunflower forest had some casualties as well. My goodness. It's a hot mess. I actually need to do some harvesting, giving seeds and heads to the chickens because, wow. This sunflower is so tall. So high above my head. Oh, it is super fun. Well, that's the veggie garden for right now. And it's hard to express to you how it makes me feel. Like I see things that aren't going well, and I see things that are going absolutely amazing. And I am stunned by the beauty of flowers and arched trellis with pumpkins and spaghetti squash and butternut squash and cantaloupe hanging from them. And I am excited about peppers that are ripening and peppers that have never done well for me doing well this year. And you know, gardening is amazing. It is different every single year. Things that did great for me in the past aren't doing so good this year, but like I'm getting habaneros and I've never been successful at them before. Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. If you like our content, I would love to have you subscribe and join us and see how our garden changes and grows. And we do grow food year round, so there's something to see every single month. Please like and comment below. That always helps people find our channel. And yeah, I love to hear about your gardens and how they are doing and what you're growing, what you're finding success with, what is not doing well. Like my experiment pot did nursery pot tomatoes that fried. But yeah, so many things are doing just so good. It's wonderful. Bless you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will see you soon. Have a wonderful time growing food, raising animals, and loving your family.